I'm gonna leave this in. I think you're always too self-conscious when we podcast. You always think that everything you have to say has to be like super important and like. And I think the whole art of podcasting is people having a conversation. And I've noticed this before, and it's good
But
to talk
we
about
already
it now.
talk about my sweater. Why will we have this conversation again just for the podcast? That's not natural, actually. That's not organic.
You always grow into these podcasts. The first 5 minutes, you always look at me like you don't want to be here. And you're like, why did you drag me to a podcast again? I hate you. I want to break up.
True.
And I'm
I
looking at you
wanna
like,
break
why?
up.
What's going on? And then after 5 minutes, you loosen up. And then you don't see this pattern, baby? Really? And we're back with a new episode of The Viking and the Inca. I am literally forcing my girlfriend to do podcasts with me since these seem to be the only videos that seem to get any type of interest from my subscribers.
That's not true.
It's not entirely true, but there is something to be said about the difference in views and engagement and comments when people see us talk in comparison to people seeing me talk to some other guest. And I told you my theory about this, right? You know what I said yesterday? All right, so this is my thing, and I'm not going to get too deep into it. But I think if the audience knows, right? And I think this is why any type of like couples always do good when it comes to media. There's a lot of very popular YouTube couples.
Couples, yeah.
When the audience knows that the people who are talking, and obviously it's just talking like in a very civil way, that they're sharing a bed, that they're sleeping with each other, it adds this layer. It adds this like interest, like, that's my theory. Maybe I'm projecting my own dirty mind onto my audience, but I feel like that's a big thing.
Yeah, I think it's just like, well, I don't know if it's like that, but for me, it's just like, yeah, it's just curious to see how we interact and how we talk about certain topics.
Yeah, because of the energy, the tension, whatever you want to call it, that's there.
But I think it's naturally there. It's not something that we are.
Oh
Like,
no, we're not faking it. No.
yeah.
That's for sure. If anything, we tone it down for the podcast. Speaking of toning it down, the temperature has been going down as well in Belgium. A lot of people right now are dealing with depression and just feelings of low energy. And quite recently, you've been experiencing that.
Yeah,
you come from
also.
Peru, for those who still don't know, South America.
Yeah. No, and it's just crazy, like to see how the sun or the lack of sun affects me. Yeah, like
How do you feel it specifically?
I just feel like I wake up and it's dark, and then I am awake for 3 hours and it's dark again. That's exactly how I feel it.
4 p.m. the sun starts setting.
Yeah, and it's like right now it's like early afternoon,
Yeah.
and I feel that the day is gonna be over in a couple of hours.
It is.
And that just gives me anxiety because actually the hours that you are awake, it's dark. It's not like there is a super sun shining. No. You wake up, it's dark. You spend the whole day, it's dark, and then it gets dark even earlier.
Yeah.
So it's like, I see that it's affecting me, but your family were telling me that this is just until middle of January or February. And
I told you December and January is by far going to be the greatest challenge to you. If you can make it through the next 6 weeks, I know that you're able to live in Belgium long term or any like European or Northern country. I think this, because maybe a lot of Belgians are struggling right now too. It's not just you. It's a lot. Like one of my aunts, my dad's sister, they were talking about that. They actually got her a lamp, like a lamp that has like infrared.
Yeah.
And I guess it replaces the beams from the sun and it gives some type of energy or vitamin because it's infrared.
Yeah, I think they were saying that it's a kind of hormone that it's produced when you have the sunlight, and now that you don't have the sunlight, there is like certain hormone that is not produced. I don't know if it's endorphins.
Yeah, something like that.
But then you don't feel happy enough, like you feel there is lack of something. And I feel it. I'm also more like I'm sleeping longer. It's very.
That's something like people talk about, like when we're talking about animals, like hibernating. I hibernate in the sense in the winter. Like I sleep so much more in wintertime. And I feel like it's also a coping mechanism. Like it's a way for me to deal with the darkness. It's just kind of like when you sleep longer, maybe you are more rested, so you have more energy to deal with the dark day.
But I think it's just because the day starts so late that you wake up late too, because somehow your body adapts to the light, to the sunlight. Yeah. So if there is no sunlight, you feel that it's still pretty deep into the night, but it's actually not that deep. It's already 8
and
or
time
8:30.
Goes faster if you sleep a lot. Like that's the real thing. Did I ever tell you that? That was my main way how I got through my cancer.
You told me.
I used to sleep literally, like, I'm not exaggerating when I say 13 hours a day sometimes. I would sleep the whole night. I would be up between 8 and 11. And then at 11, I would already take my first nap. Then I would have lunch. At lunch, always a nap of at least an hour and a half. Like, I would just, and that worked for me. That worked. Like, the days would just fly by.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because there is like, and it's the combination. It's a combination of being the first year with this weather, and also it's a combination that, of Corona, there's not much that we can do, What else can we do?
We still haven't figured out what we're going to do for New Year's.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I'm upset about is the fact that I'm not going to be able to take you to our annual Christmas celebration. My father is one of 15 children, so our entire family is about 120 people, and we all get together in the old farm where they are from, and we have like a Santa Claus coming, giving kids, giving gifts to the kids. There's decorations and fires everywhere. It's fucking amazing, and I know that the day that I take you there, you will just be like, I love this.
Yeah.
Also because you're an extremely social person, and you're going to have a good, 30 or 40 aunts and uncles, trying to get a hold of you and talking to you and asking you questions, regardless if you speak Dutch or not. Which, by the way, I got to say, your Dutch is going really well. Hey, let me show something off. So how do you say survive?
Overleven.
Do the conjugations.
Oh, amor, but the people are not going to understand.
But I don't care. Ik.
Overleefd.
Ja.
Overleefd.
Ja. Hij.
Overleefd.
Wij.
Overleven.
Jullie.
Overleven.
Zij.
Overleven.
Hey, what's up with this attitude? Normally you're doing it with a smile. You're cutting yourself short. Normally you're doing it like, ik overleef. Maybe I'm proud of you because you've only been here for 3 months and you're already making...
I haven't been here for 3 months.
Well, no, that's true. But I mean, you've been taking Dutch courses for 3 months. I guess that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. Okay.
And you're already making big strides. I think that's the main thing. That's like, I have clients who are always talking about wanting to move. And it's like, the whole thing, moving is not that hard. There's just always this one big issue. It's the language. If you want to move somewhere and
I think we had once this conversation about it.
We did.
Yeah, in a podcast.
Like
if it would be better to study the language before you
did.
move, or if it would be better to just once you move study there.
No, I remember that now. Yeah, that's ages ago. I've made so much content since then.
I think it was summertime.
It was here. It was literally one of the first pods we did in this new studio.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't remember. I think I've made more videos in the last 3 months than I did in my first year. It's just, my production has been out of this world. It's been my way, my coping mechanism of dealing with Corona lockdown and everything. I'm just
and I think everyone has to create a mechanism to do stuff that they really enjoy while this period, so that it passes faster, because otherwise it's getting heavy.
It is. It is. One thing I also rediscovered is reading. Obviously, I always used to read a lot, but then, it's just once you get hooked to the whole smartphone, internet stuff, it's just so hard to keep your attention to a book. And wow, man. I mean, and I apologize to all the people who have been reading and who are listening to this. Like, yeah, of course, it's nice. But dude, if you used to read and you stopped reading, you should really get back into reading. Because it's not just the human mind, our fantasy is the greatest special effects machine. Like, it's better than any CGI you could ever imagine. When you read things and you imagine how it looks, that's the most beautiful movie you'll ever see. Like, you can watch movies and all these things, but you're always looking through the lens of like a director, his vision of it. When you're reading words and they're describing people and how they look, like you create these people in your head,
Yeah.
And it's so cool. It's so nice. And you really get drawn into it.
Yeah.
Nothing to add, Davey, to that?
Not really.
Let's talk about your sweater. Because,
what?
No,
I
because...
don't want to talk about my sweater.
Why not?
Because this is not a topic that is... No, I don't
Okay, let's talk about
the...
I'm gonna leave this in. I think you're always too self-conscious when we podcast. You always think that everything you have to say has to be like super important and I think the whole art of podcasting is people having a conversation. And I've noticed this before, and it's good to talk about it now.
But we already talk about my sweater. Why will we have this conversation again just for the podcast? That's not natural, actually. That's not organic.
You don't think people have the same conversation again, like off the record and then on podcast? Yeah. Don't run into your phone. I'm going to leave that in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want to talk about, lady? You wanted to talk about Christmas and New Year's?
I think it's better, to focus it into something that, what we're going to do on Christmas and New Year's. And it's like a conversation that we're having right now.
And can I ask the question before we go there to the viewers after watching this, if they would be interested in hearing you talk about trivial, non-important things or not? Well, I just did.
But I think... there is no problem about it, but I don't think my sweater... We already talked about my sweater 3 times.
We did it.
Yes, we did.
Now I get to catch your style of debating on camera, so this is going to be interesting. We haven't. We spoke about it one time off camera, but now you're going to say, we already spoke about it 6 times by now, right? Because I said the word sweater 6 times. So New Year's, how do you want to spend this beautiful time of the year with the love of your life?
I think that could be a nice topic and also like a nice question to ask to the people that is watching this, like what they are going to do. Because, there is this huge dilemma. And for example, we jump into people and we cross by people and they are like, we don't care. We're going to do this 10 people party. And we are just going to, the neighbors are not going to call the police because they know us from a long time ago and things like this. And you also find the other type of people that are people that say, no, the rules are this, and they are there is this saying here in Belgium that the police is gonna put drones around and...
Well, they are. It's not just saying.
It's not a proof, because there is something about the privacy legislation and everything.
So what's gonna happen is... As
I understood it.
They're gonna use them. It's happening. They just can't fly. They just can't go into your backyard. That's what has been said. So this is what happened. Police came out and said we're going to use drones to see that there's no people, coming together. Then there came a reaction from obviously concerned citizens and politicians saying like, you can't do that because that's an invasion of privacy. Mm-hmm. And then they clarified it saying, we're not going to go in people's backyards. We're going to keep the drones in like public property, like in the streets basically. But then that's bullshit because if you go high enough, you can see everything with a drone. So it's just like... I
understood that they were not going to use it. So.
They are.
Okay.
Last time I checked, yes.
Okay.
And how crazy is that? Like I've been talking about this just with my dad the other day, And it's just... And other people, it's so frightening for me to see how many people don't seem to care about their privacy.
No, and it's really crazy that we are now thinking about machines that are flying in the backyard and that can just like... record everything that we are doing and how fast this is going to go. Like how fast are we going to evolve in this direction where it's better to be secure than to have privacy?
Exactly. And I always ask people always say the same thing. Like, it's for our safety, right? And I ask them, like, when's the last time something bad happened to you? Like, when's the last time you got robbed?
In your backyard.
Yeah, like, or even like just in your little Belgian town. It's like, yeah, no, but just look on the news. They always reference the news. And I just feel like the media and the news is constantly poisoning people's minds with this idea that the world is this terrible, scary place because negativity sells, fear sells. It keeps you locked in. It keeps you watching. Mm-hmm. If the news would tell you every day things are quite good, you would stop watching because, like, hey, things are good. I don't have to watch. But every day they're talking about a new threat, a new, potential dangerous thing going on. That's how you stay hooked. And it's like people just. And it's always the same. They always say, well, if you have nothing to hide, then, I have nothing to hide, so I'm not worried. It's not about the drones flying through the street right now to figure out if you're having an illegal party during a lockdown. It's about that opening a gate to something else. It's not going to stop with the drones. Those drones, now they're just drones flying around, whatever, just taking pictures. In 5 years, they're going to have the taser gun to give you an electric shock. In 10 years, it's just going to just look at evolution. It never ends there. It never, you just open the gate and you create a very dangerous precedent, I think, to allow the government to do these things.
Yeah, and I think, right now, life is changing so fast already that if we, boost it up, it's just going to change to a point where we cannot look back again and we say, we can just have a barbecue in the backyard,
Exactly.
Because right now we are under all this situation where everything is changing and then we are trying to make it the best, but maybe we are going to create rules and create things that then later we will not be able to remove, and then it's going to completely change the way we'll... maybe I'm seeing everything too dark right now,
No.
I really can imagine that there is in the next years you cannot just be in the backyard just chilling with your friends, naked if you want, whatever, because you're going to have a drone there, and it's
and he's going to count the
weird.
bottles. He's going to count the bottles that you drank. You're good,
it's we are heading to
a police state.
Yeah, I think we are heading to a world where freedom is
free. Yeah,
it's not valuable anymore, or privacy and everything. Also this social dilemma show that is or documentary that is on Netflix. I was watching it the other day, and it's so crazy because everything that we have in this machine is thought, and we are moving. We think that we have free will, but actually we don't. Everything, every advertisement that we tap there, it was supposed to be there because you have and it's crazy because I work doing this, so. It's our human behavior is constantly conditioned by the outside, the stimulus that you have here, It's sometimes, I don't know if it has happened to you, sometimes I go in my phone and I'm trying to do this, and then I end up doing other different thing. It's when you go to the kitchen to grab a glass of water and then you get to the kitchen and you don't know why you came and you start grabbing just other food. It's the same. I feel the same. It's
it happens all the time.
I have so much distractions. I have to do a transfer, and then I click, and then there is this big chart about Bitcoin or whatever, and I just go into the news from those news, and then I start digging, and then I end up watching a tutorial, and I never did the transfer.
No, it's absolutely. I mean, preach.
How crazy!
It's true, and it happens to me all the time. I go into my phone to do XYZ, and I end up doing ABC,
And for me, it's also very curious to see how future generations are going to deal with this, because somehow we have grown up to a point where we have grown up without having a cell phone. without having so much technology around. So let's say somehow we have it tame. I don't know how to say it, but we have like a precedent where we have lived without it. So I'm curious to see how new generations will manage it, because basically they have been born and raised with it around it. So it can go either two ways. Either they don't know how to handle it at all, and they have, like, technology has complete control over their will, over the things that they do, over everything. Or as they have grown up with this and they have been born with this, they just, they just know how to deal with it, because they have grown up in this kind of environment.
Yeah. And they will have a better idea of the risks at that point. Like we don't. Like, we are still like very. When I had my friend Gert here on, he said something on the podcast that I really liked. He talked about people are not going to believe 50 years from now that we used to throw all of our private vacation pictures on these public social media platforms. Like, they're just going to be like, what were you guys thinking? Just in terms of privacy and all these things, we're still figuring it out, and it's happening right now. Like, one thing I've noticed, and I talked to you about this as well, if I go into my Instagram now, I feel like 75% of my feed is just these big pages, brands, big influencers, but I don't really have a lot of real people left posting things. I do feel like people are starting to get the memo when it comes to that.
Yeah, I think so too. And actually, also myself, like, I don't post that much anymore. I'm very and I wasn't like this before, but I just got aware, that is a big distraction. That's an important point for me, that I don't want to throw my hours into social media. And that is just like, there is so much of me out there exposed that,
And you're actually not even like...
And I also have to say,
and you've been very strict with it.
Yeah, and I have to say that also, since I'm dating you, I have like all these requests from people, because I have my profile closed. So it's private.
But that makes you more interesting. People love it when you're private.
But when it's like, I see the request and I'm like, okay, so I see, sometimes they are following you, so I understand. And it's like, okay. But I mean, in general, it's like, I don't know. It's just a crazy world.
You're still getting used to the...
I'm just too old for this, I think.
No, baby, you know what it is? Hey, everybody thinks they want to date a celebrity until they're dating a celebrity, baby girl. It's not that easy, is it now? It's like, hey, it's the price of fame. The price of fame, man. I wake up every day with a bunch of emails and stuff going on, and it's like, man. God. I hope people understand I'm joking a little bit. A little bit, though. Like, I didn't even tell you. I got an email this morning from this woman, and basically, from what I understood, was she's going through a similar medical condition as I did. And she literally, in one email, she asked me about, maybe like 10 questions, very specifically about medical stuff. And it's like, obviously it's like, I got stuff to do. I never don't have stuff to do.
Never.
No, it's true. Like, I'm turning into a workaholic. But it's like, do I take the time to answer this individual's questions? Which I would like to, and I'm definitely going to try. But at the same time, it's like, where do you draw the line between giving everyone your time and still trying to, get ahead in this life, get ahead with my career, get ahead with everything. It's sometimes I can, and I'm a nobody. Like, let this be clear. When I say I'm a celebrity, I'm very obviously joking. I'm a nobody. Really, I'm a nobody. 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. Yeah, it's cool, but really, it doesn't mean much. Like, it's not that I'm ever in situations where I can't go somewhere because, people are recognizing me.
But I don't think, you say 50,000 subscribers, but there's people that will kill for that. It's like you have built your channel and your brand and everything based on work and on hard work. So you shouldn't say, no, sure, just because people don't recognize you here, because most of the people are from United States It doesn't mean that, oh no, I'm not. And it doesn't really matter if you're a celebrity or not, but as far as you don't put down the work, because you have worked really hard to have those 50,000 people. There are people that are having studios, are hiring people, are having great people working with them, and then blah 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 blah, and they have what? 2,000.
Yeah.
So it's like 50,000 for me is quite. Yeah, it's like you've worked on it and you've jumped into it in the right time, because that's also.
Thank you, lady, and I appreciate that. Important. It's just, I guess I say that because sometimes I come across channels with 100,000 subs and they have literally 12 videos and they're not even really saying anything in them, and it's like usually it's like just because people are very attractive in a physical sense, and that bothers me, and it shouldn't, because we're not playing the same game.
Exactly.
But still, it gets to me. It's like, oh man, I'm trying to get all this great content talking about sweaters and stuff, and I can't seem to get ahead. By the way, we saw a movie yesterday, Annihilation.
With Natalie Portman.
Now
you know who is Natalie Portman.
Yeah, so halfway through the movie, my girl starts talking to me. Yeah. I don't like you. You know those people that start talking during a movie? Yes, exactly. Those people that you really don't like. Well, my girl loves to talk during the movies.
I never talk during the movies. I only said, is that Natalie Portman? And you were like, no, that's not Natalie Portman. So I jumped into my phone.
She went to her phone.
And I said, Natalie Portman picture. I said, ooh, this is Natalie Portman.
Oh my God. Epic mistake.
Something like that.
She has rubbed it in my face 16 times in the last 6 hours already.
Yeah, and there are more to come.
There's more to come. I mean, baby, I was just trying to like stay onto the movie.
Sure. And for sure, I asked him if that was Natalie Portman. He said, no, that's not Natalie. No, he didn't stay just to where he was watching the movie.
It's true.
He's going to put my voice down so that he sounds cooler.
No, I think that
this is the podcast world.
This is exactly. If I could have one of those knobs attached to your mouth, like that I could turn it down, like that would just be wow, next level.
Castro.
Castro, you're Cuban now. Shout out to all my Cuban people, man. No, but the movie itself, it was a Netflix movie. I downloaded it, so I got some more shit for that.
We have free Netflix.
Because she's got a Netflix account.
Not free Netflix.
I didn't check. I just feel like overall Netflix movies aren't that great. Am I wrong with that?
I think there is a lot to see there.
Yeah, but
a lot to watch. And right now, I'm watching documentary about In the Edge of Democracy. It talks about the Brazilian politicians, and it's interesting.
Okay. I want to get into this series called Mindhunter.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah.
We never did it.
No, you never did? Maybe because you want to watch Natalie Portman. You came to me and you said, I want to watch a Natalie Portman movie, and then I got you one.
Mentiroso.
That's what happened.
Mentiroso is liar.
But just for the people who are still confused, I just want to say, I think Netflix, 80% of the stuff is really not that good. It does have some good stuff. That's true. But when I illegally download my movies and then the whole Netflix thing pops up in the beginning, I'm like, fuck. Because, we watched an amazing movie the other day, courtesy of one of my clients, Spencer Lastina.
Yeah, Manhunter.
Manhunter, exactly. It's from
really
86. Wow, we loved it, didn't we?
It was a really good movie. Actually, like 2 days later, I had a dream about it in my subconscious. It has a stake there. And it was really good. That's
one of the scariest bad guys I've ever seen. What I really liked is that, the first half of the movie, you don't see the killer. So they build it up. You're like, who is this killer? What is he going to look like? And in so many movies, so often, there's this anticlimax when they do reveal the monster or the killer. You're like, he doesn't look that scary. Dude, when they showed him in that first scene with the sock, spoiler alert, over his face, I was, wow. He lived up to my, idea of, a crazy, scary, psychopathic serial killer. Like, so scary, that guy. The soundtrack, too, was so good.
And the shots.
Oh, the shots. It just, you forgot what the world used to look like. And we're old enough to where we can still remember the world looking like that. When we were, like 9, 10 years old, that's how it used to look. And, I mean, obviously this is completely biased, but it's ironic how a movie about a serial killer conveyed such a feeling of peace to me. Like, just the setting, the shots, that world looked like a lot more relaxed, compared to now, where everything is volatile, quick, fast, polarizing. Everything is like turned up to the extreme. Everything, like, expectations.
And we are far away from that.
You and me.
Yeah.
I think that we're pretty.
I mean, just by the place where we are living.
Yes, but I'm very happy with that.
Me too.
I'm definitely definitely feel like in the city it's a lot more than that of that still, and I'm happy to be living in a moderately quiet place where nature is never further than a 5-minute drive away.
Because we are really lucky. Like, I think I've never lived, like, I can say that I've never, well, no. But
you're going to start talking to Rio again?
No, but this is one of the best place. Like, it's a really nice place to live.
It is. It's
close to nature.
Close to nature, close to family, very safe. Just December and January. Oof.
But we will make it.
We're always going to make it, baby. I want to thank you so much. Hey, can I say one more thing before we go?
About my sweater?
No, not about your sweater. But,
say it.
Oh no, the battery's going to die and I want to say something. All right, hurry up quick. I'm going to say it. You always grow into these podcasts. The first 5 minutes, you always look at me like you don't want to be here. And you're like, why did you drag me to a podcast again? I hate you. I want to break up.
True.
And I'm looking at you like, why? What's going on? And then after 5 minutes, you loosen up. And then you don't see this pattern, baby? Really?
Gracias. Salvada por la campana.
Saved by the bell, baby. All right. The video is gone, but I'm just going to do the outro by audio.
Okay. Goodbye, people.
All right. So she's leaving. Guys, if you appreciated this podcast, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, and answer the questions about, the topics and stuff. What do you guys want? We read all your feedback. Thank you so much for watching. It is the Wounded Viking and the luscious Inca Queen checking out. Do you need help making better decisions in your life? Are you lacking self-confidence and motivation to get things done? Hire me today and get a direct daily line of communication with me through video chat and audio messages. I operate on a week-to-week basis, so no long-term investment is required. 7 straight days of Viking advice will get you right on track. Email me at lorenz.dries@gmail.com and change your reality. I'm ready whenever you are. See you soon.